We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stephenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stephenson, you'll find your light.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday evening. We are here in the Spotlight. Welcome to In the Spotlight. This is the home of unfiltered conversations, where real talk is what we do here. And I am none other than Dr. Donna Thompson.
I'm Dr. Laxley, and together we are your fearless moderators.
Yes, we are.
We are. Dr. Donna, how you doing? It's another Monday.
I am great. It's another Monday. I am doing well. We have a little bit of rain here in the Georgia region and a little bit of chill. It seemed like we were a few weeks ago, maybe last week, we were moving forward to the spring, going into the summer, and something happened and we did a reverse. But nevertheless, grateful that we're here to experience it. So I am thankful that we're here, and I'm most thankful that I'm here to share this platform with you this evening.
Yes, even when it's the wrong intro song, it's okay. Yes, even when it's the wrong intro song, it's okay. Yeah, so, it's amazing that just a few days ago, it was like summertime in Atlanta, Georgia, right? In the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even know what is going on out there. But you know one thing I know? I am so grateful and thankful that we're here to enjoy the change in weather conditions. Because guess what? No matter what it is, we're going to deal with it, right? We are going
Absolutely.
to keep living, 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 doing what we do, doing the work non-stop here at the A Collision with Purpose movement. So, Dr. Donna, we got a big show tonight. We're going to talk about, you're a Jamaican, I'm a Jamaican,
Hmm.
and that's a big deal for us, right? So, we're going to talk about our culture tonight. We're going to talk about what is important for us as Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica. So we're going to talk about that tonight. But before we go there, let's talk about another important place, another important country in our lives, right? Let's talk about Kenya real quick. We're going to make this real fast because we have a guest who's waiting. Don't want to keep her waiting. So let's talk about this thing here.
Yeah. So as you can see, yeah, great, great. Look at that picture. That was our team last year. So yes, of course, 2026 is on the horizon, probably about what, shy of 2 months away from our next visit to Kenya, where once again we're doing some of the same work that we did when we were there with you know uh, building toilets for children in the schools so that we can improve the sanitary conditions for the kids, visiting orphanages, visiting the elder, individuals who are suffering from cancer, and just really, once again, going out there in the community and working with community members and looking for opportunities where we can continue to uplift individuals' living conditions, whether it's school and, like I said, with the elderly. So that will require, of course, we'll be meeting with, you know, influential leaders of the various communities so that we can collaborate and just do some positive work. So we're once again, a team's going with us. We'll be traveling around May 22nd-ish. And once again, we'll be there for 2 weeks. So lots of work and tourism and fun and just excitement. And I'm looking forward to it.
You say 2 weeks. I think I might stay for a month.
All right.
Yeah, I might just stay and explore Kenya. And in fact, maybe just run over to Tanzania, maybe touch Uganda, maybe go down to another country and more countries just to explore. Because, one thing about going to Africa, and I'm not just talking Kenya, going to Africa, man, you feel like you're home,
Mm-hmm.
like you've just landed. So, and you're home. So, yeah, I'm open to that possibility of staying maybe a couple extra week. Yeah, so we're going with a group of maybe 12, 14. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But we have some other things happening, right? Kenya is on our mind. It's the next big thing. But we have something else going on. I'm going to play this thing here, and we're not going to hang in there too long, but I just want to touch part of it at least, all right?
Okay.
A collision with purpose movement. Dr. Donna Thompson and Dr. Lorraine J. Smith. Every generation is shaped by voices that rise when others are silent. Voices of courage. Voices of wisdom. Voices that remind the world that leadership has many faces. This is her legacy. There's a story in every heart, a fire in every dream. Women rising through the dark, stronger than they seem. Through every challenge they stand tall, through every storm they rise, turning doubt into resolve with a vision in their eyes. Every word becomes a light, every step becomes a way, building bridges through the night toward a brighter day. When purpose calls and courage speaks, a voice can change the world we seek. This is her legacy. Voices shaping history, rising strong for all to see, lighting paths for every generation. This is her legacy. Where wisdom meets destiny, hope and strength for all to see, building
Right, that's it. That's it, Dr. Donna. So what is that all about? Talk to me.
Yeah, so that's, that's our show that's coming up this week where, it's once again, it's a platform just really honoring women, talking about the different facets of life that we're experiencing, whether it's young, old, middle, just everything that you can possibly think of that impact womanhood. Um, and it's a platform where we're just going to be very authentic in who we are, the information that we share, and it's all about just uplifting and building each other and understanding each other. So it also complements our other show on Thursdays, which is Bridging Generations, which once again the focus is, of course, with the men. But I think it's very important that we have these platforms so that we can better understand each other and help each other grow and to become better versions of ourselves and who we were really created to be. Because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding um, amongst men and women, but even just women on a whole, because we're also at different levels. So much to talk about and so much to share.
So much to talk about, so much to share. And you know what? It's doing it for me when it says, when purpose call, a
Hmm.
voice can change the world. And that's what this show is about. We'll be bringing on women with voices that they have been changing the world and they will continue to change this world we live in. So, very important platform. It's dedicated to highlighting the wisdom, strength, and influence of women whose voices influence generations, right?
Correct.
So, powerful stuff. All right, but let's move to our business for tonight. We have a guest. What do you
Yes.
have to say about tonight's show?
All right. So tonight we are actually talking about the BRICS campaign. And that is where it's built in the Jamaican culture and the museum center here in Atlanta, Georgia. So tonight we're honored to have the extraordinary leader whose work is dedicated to actually preserving and celebrating the Jamaican culture and heritage here, actually in the diaspora. And our guest this evening is none other than Dr. Apollone Reid. I love her name, as a matter of fact. She is the president of the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center. And through her leadership, which is an exciting vision, is taking shape. The development of the Cultural and Museum Center here in Atlanta, it will serve as a home for the Jamaican history, storytelling, and community engagement. And one of the major initiatives that is actually supporting the vision is the BRICS campaign, which actually invites individuals and families to become part of the foundation of this actual historical institution that will be built here in Atlanta, Georgia. So, without further ado, we're going to welcome Dr. Reid to In the Spotlight this evening. We didn't do our drum roll, but here you are. Welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you. It's my pleasure to be on. I'm honored that you have asked me to be on this prestigious platform.
Thank you.
How are you? I see you're in your car.
I am. What happened? The traffic was a little bad this evening, and I decided instead of being late, I'd rather stop in a shopping center and do this from my car.
You
So
know, that's
we
commitment.
do what we have to do.
That's commitment. We call that commitment in over here at the Collision with Purpose. We're not going to let anything get in the way. The show must go on. We must do what we commit to do. So we appreciate you. Welcome to In the Spotlight.
Do you know, I heard you talk about the temperature. Do you know the wind chill factor here is 20 degrees Fahrenheit? And it was snowing earlier on.
Mm.
I guess that's what caused the traffic. And we're both in Atlanta, so I mean in Georgia, but I guess you haven't experienced any of the snow.
Not yet. At least
Uh,
it's not come too close.
I'm not that snow type of person, but when they say it's gonna snow, I stay home. But we got to do what we got to do, right? We got to get out there and
Yes.
make it happen. But Doc, let us talk about the person behind the mission. Before we get into the museum and the campaign, I'd like to begin with your personal journey. What experiences led you to dedicate yourself to preserving Jamaican culture and history?
First, it's just basically a deep, innate love for Jamaica. A love that just won't leave me alone. It won't go away. And it creates this desperate need to preserve our culture because our culture is so rich. It's so powerful. It guides us. It pushes us to achieve more than most individuals in other nations as a body would achieve. And we, growing up, I felt like we all pulled each other up.
Mhm.
In my community of Somerton, which I'm telling you, we had quite a few very successful people who came from there. We have Jimmy Cliff, whose house is across from where I used to live as a child. And, he was the one who really was responsible for our iconic music, reggae. And he doesn't really get the credit for it, but he was the one who pulled Bob Marley up. We all pull each other up. And in Somerton, though, everybody knew everyone. And we all joined together. We were a very religious, I would say, community. But despite the different religions, we had unity. So we would have Seventh-day Adventists who would come to our Sunday, the children who would join us and come to our Sunday school or youth fellowship. And their parents didn't see a division there because of doctrine. And so the kids grew up like siblings in the community. We were mischievous. We had bush cooking, which we insisted on having. We had beach outings where we rented trucks with benches across in the back, and we would all sit in there, or we rented a bus. We were quite innovative as kids. And our parents would come with us to the beach. And these were regular outings. So the community, I went to the Presbyterian church, but our minister, he gathered all the kids from the different churches, and we lived as one. We were in each other's home. So that sense of community, we learned how to do things properly, how to eat properly. And that's one thing I have to say. No matter how poor you are in Jamaica, you know how to set a table properly. You
Mhm.
know how to use a knife and fork properly. And I even look at presidents in some countries, and I look at them eat, and I'm saying, oh my God, our culture is so rich. We know how to use these utensils properly. And presidents and their wives don't know how to use them, you know? And I revere the Jamaican culture
Mhm.
and its traditions. And I believe it's because of this community, this sense of community, and the spirit that kept us together, helped us to pull each other up, that is missing from the rest of the world. And that was something that Martin Luther recognized. And, I can go a little further into that, but I'm going to give you a chance to ask her
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. We got a lot of stuff we need to talk about. But Donna, before you go and ask Dr. Reid a question. I just want to say, big up Jimmy Cliff. I mean, a true Jamaican hero,
Yeah.
and rest may
Mhm.
his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
That's a powerful, powerful, powerful human being there. All right, Dr.
Yes.
You go.
Yes, so Dr. Reed, many people feel very proud of their culture, their heritage. But even within the sense of being proud, very few dedicate their lives to actually protecting and preserving it. What moment made this mission so deeply personal for you?
There are a few moments. There was one in particular that came to bring this to me, and it I had gotten the vision before, just having a sleepless night after Independence Ball, a Jamaican Independence Ball, and it's like this pounding, loud, silent voice kept saying, "You need to get them to build a museum and a cultural center for Jamaica and in Atlanta." And then after that, the reasoning why Atlanta and everything started coming to me. And it was like I wasn't thinking this thing up. Something was putting this thought into my head. And I can only say it was another one of those instances where the superior being, wherever you perceive him to be, spoke to me and spoke to my heart. And I had to move. And whenever I get those kind of visions or mission to work on, I feel like if I don't do it, I'm gonna be disobeying God or the spirit or whoever put that in me. I feel I can't disobey that voice. And so I looked, things started coming to me like at my husband's dental practice. Because, he had initially conceptualized the Atlanta Jamaican Association in 1976, I think, before I met him. And he had brought a group of Jamaicans together who were the foundation members of the Atlanta Jamaica Association. And their mission was to help every Jamaican that came here, not just to preserve the culture, but to practice the culture and to help them to get started in life so that
Mhm.
they could achieve their dream. So when this came to me, it's funny that he has an office, a dental office in an underserved area of Atlanta. And the people that were coming in there were descendants of Jamaicans, but they knew nothing about Jamaica. Absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
They didn't behave like we did. It was something that really bothered me, that they needed some Jamaican influence. And with that, that cemented the vision that was given to me, that we have to do this. We literally have to make this happen because there are kids out there that need motivation, but they need to see others who had nothing. Others like Jimmy Cliff, others like Bob Marley, others that eat yam and cocoa like Usain Bolt, you know, learn about what is valuable, nutrition, learn about behavior, how it affects others. And I just think by having those experiences and seeing those Jamaicans there with no concept of what Jamaica really is about, I knew that we had to make this reality.
Mm. And I like that your dream brought you to Atlanta. So it's happening in Atlanta because, of course, we're in Atlanta. We
Yes,
want it here, right? And I also
yes,
like that you made a distinction between preserving and practicing. Because I
yes.
think that's so important because we must live it.
Hmm.
We're not here to dwell in the past. Preserving alone is not good enough. We preserve so others can see it and practice it and live it. And that's why we preserve it. So, Doc, for many viewers who will see this broadcast or watch this show, they may not yet be familiar with the organization, JMCC. Can you share the story behind the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center and why this work is so important to you and to all of us, for that matter? Why is it so important?
All right. We're a group of volunteers. We're all professionals. We work full time to survive. But the fact that our tradition may just be dissolved completely and removed from history was important that we do it at this time. I feel, and maybe it's a fact, that we are the last generation in America that has experienced the full, wholesome tradition of the Jamaican culture that Martin Luther King saw. And when he went to Jamaica, what he saw was a group of people, different complexion, different hair type, different educational level, different lifestyles, but they were able to come together and live together as one. And I think that's the uniqueness of Jamaica. You know, in India, you have the caste system, and you have where some people are not able to have the opportunity or go to the same places as the others from a different clan. But in Jamaica, what Martin Luther King saw was the man that looked like the Chinese that he expected to speak like Chinese was talking like Jamaican. The Indian was talking like Jamaican. The Irish looking man was talking like Jamaican. And they were living together in spite of their different levels of what they had or you know, money then and where they lived, but the culture was still one. And that change, that had a big impact on the civil rights movement, because when, after one visit, as you know, he wrote his manuscripts in St. Mary, but after one visit, and in Portland too, but after one visit, he realized that the civil rights movement needed to be bigger than what he had foreseen. And it broadened the concept of civil rights, not just in America, not just in Atlanta, but globally. And that is what he saw lived in Jamaica. He wanted the lived experience that he saw to be established in Atlanta and in the United States. And I must say, at this point, if we do not get this museum established, our history will be removed. Because right now, Black history is being removed from universities, being removed from schools, from the school curriculum. And if we don't have somewhere where we can preserve it, where that history and that thought and that memory of our culture is cemented somewhere, then we're going to lose it.
Mm.
Wow. Very, yeah, very, very valid points there. It's like we have work to do.
We do.
We definitely have work to do. And so, we're talking about preserving the culture and why it really matters so much. Uh, why, Dr. Reid, why is it so important for or Jamaicans in the diaspora to actively preserve and celebrate the cultural history?
We have such a rich, profound history. Um, just yesterday, and 2 days before, I attended a documentary by Matthew. I forget his last name now, but he's a French producer that made a film on Claude McKay.
Mhm.
Do you remember who Claude McKay was?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in school, growing up in school, in primary school, we were taught a lot of his, well, not a lot, but some of his outstanding poetry. And we had to recite them, you know. So there's a Frenchman who just met up on the work of Claude McKay and decided that it was important enough for him to do a documentary and to take this documentary all over the world. And that is how Jamaican culture strikes people of different skills and people in the art and performing and visual arts. It strikes them so much as something that is profound that they think it is necessary to be preserved. And we who have experienced it, we who have experienced the culture, what more then? He didn't experience it and he thinks it's so important. So we who experience it know that this culture is important in shaping the world, not just Jamaica, not just Atlanta or the diaspora, but the entire globe. We have that power to change people, to change how people think, to change how they behave, and to bring unity. Because our motto says, out of many, one people. But it's not that we're just going to behave as if we are one. We're going to show the world
Mhm.
that we are one. And that I'm so happy that Martin Luther King was able to see that and to bring that concept back here.
Mhm. So important, so important. You said out of many one people, they also know that we're little, but we talawa.
Yes,
Because I'll
yes,
tell you this, you know,
yes,
every time we go to Africa, we learn, we see how Jamaican culture and Jamaicans are respected everywhere. If you mention that you're from Jamaica, the folks you're talking to in these countries, they see you in a different light. Wouldn't you agree with that, Dr. Donna?
Oh
There,
yeah, absolutely.
there is.
Our experience has just been really phenomenal. Like we're we're welcomed, we're greeted. Like you would think like we're some type of royalty or something.
yes, yes, yes,
People love Jamaicans outside
Yeah,
of Jamaica.
yeah.
yes.
It's Jamaicans would only love themselves more. And
Mhm.
but outside of Jamaica, you're going to those countries across the pond, man, it's amazing. All right, so Doc, we talk about the importance of preserving and practicing and living our culture, our heritage. What happens to a community when its stories, its traditions, and contributions are not documented or preserved? Because I know that's what you're all about, is documenting
Right.
and preserving it. What happens if we don't do that?
If we don't document our history, it's going to be lost. And that's, I go back to what is happening in our country now, that when the Black history is removed, it's going to be lost unless we have people that survive to bring it back when things change. And if we don't preserve it, we won't have. Remember, I just said we think we are the last generation that have experienced
Mhm.
it. So if we don't preserve it now, which generation is there going to be who will have that experience to preserve it? Will have the drive, who will know that um, there are books written that are important, Jamaican books that know that our history, our athletes, they used to run the world. If we remove the history of the fastest man on the earth, I mean, it's just gonna be gone. Nobody's gonna know unless we put it somewhere. You know, and I have to say that in emphasizing the importance of our culture, we have broken so many barriers. The music barrier with reggae, the athletes, the nutrition that they are fed. You know, Americans are being trained in American athletes are being trained in Jamaica, and we just have to preserve this history before we lose it, because it can be lost.
Indeed. And you talk about music, and there's reggaeton, straight from reggae music.
Exactly.
There is Afrobeat, straight from our music. Well, that's our music, right? So, Dr. Donna, it's all yours.
Yeah, so important what you're saying, Doc, because I know I have a young one, and just like what you said, it's almost like we are the last ones, right, to
Hmm.
preserve our culture. So we have a lot of young Jamaicans that's growing up, whether it's here or other countries, but just abroad in general, and they may really feel disconnected from the island.
Yeah.
Um, how can institutions like the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center actually help to bridge that gap?
Okay. Right now, we don't have a building. We don't have a physical space, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working very hard towards that. But in the meantime, we go into schools and we teach them about our culture. And right now, we're using the theme banana. But it not just teach about the culture, it teaches them the history of Jamaica. So when we talk about the banana, we have to start at the beginning. We have to start with colonization. That's history. We have to start with why the colonizers benefited so much from the banana industry, because all the bananas went back to England.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about later on when we got our independence and we were allowed to control the industry. We had Jamaican farmers, and then we had retailers that came out of that, and we had wholesalers, and we had value added products that came out of that. And when we go into the school, we just don't talk banana talk. We talk about the benefits of banana, the nutrition. And I'm telling you, these kids that we talk to, they are so engaged. When we start asking questions after a presentation, they're able to repeat everything we told them, and we are in shock that young kids can retain so much, you know. But unless they're stimulated,
Mm-hmm.
they're not gonna. You go and teach them banana. Oh, banana was an industry in Jamaica, and the slaves used to farm, and the money used to go back. They got to see today, what does the banana do. You see it in stores as banana pie, as banana porridge, as so many different things. Crushed banana, you see it in your food, you see it with the ackee and sulfur. So you bring in the different things that align with bananas. And then at the end of it, we give them the very tasty banana chips to
Oh,
eat.
so
And
that's
yes, and they
chippies.
love it. They love it. They love it. And we tell them about how it's used now. Just about every lunch pan in Jamaica has a little package of banana chips every day in it. The St. Mary banana chips are there's different brands, so many different brands. But I can guarantee that if you open a lunch kit, you're gonna see banana chips in there.
Mhm. You
So
know,
When I get a bag of chippies, I can't stop until
it's done. Yes.
you, you brought up ackee and saltfish and banana. Thing that, boy, all of a sudden I'm saying, bring it back.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah, but
And
Doc,
our food is so dynamic. You know,
Mhm.
everybody wants to cook Jamaican food. No matter which corner of the earth you go, you see people trying to set up a Jamaican restaurant, jerk chicken, curry chicken, oxtail. You know, it's unique. Our cooking is unique. I
I
still
don't know
think,
the cooking part of it, but I know everybody want to eat it.
yes,
Everybody wants to eat it, right? Yeah, that's
yes.
a popular thing, our Jamaican food.
And then another way we bring our culture to life here is the annual fruitcake competition, where people participate by sending in a small sample cake, a 6-inch diameter cake. And we have judges who judge, and they don't know because the names that are given to the entrance are pseudonyms. And the only thing the judges know are the pseudonyms. So you have fair judging. And then this year coming, we're going to expand it where we have a live decorating section. You know, you
Mm.
see how people decorate with the icing or the fondant or whatever they use. So it will be very interesting this year.
Dr. Donna, you was a judge on the last
I,
competition, weren't you?
yes.
Did you get real tipsy during
Did you
the
get drunk?
No, I did not. I did not. But to what you said, just to piggyback on what you said, Dr. Reed, is that it is a fair competition because there was no way that you could tell whose cake was whose. All you did was you taste and you did your score. So I commend you and the team for that. So it was really, it was done very well.
right? So we have a number of questions we want to get to because there's some important things. So let's, Doc, for those individuals who never heard of this JMCC or Jamaica Museum and Cultural Center, share the vision. Just summarize the vision for us. Just
All right.
summarize it for us.
So our vision is to preserve the rich the traditions of the culture among Jamaicans in the diaspora and descendants of Jamaicans in the diaspora, and to disseminate these cultures to the wider community. So we're sharing our culture with other cultures, and with the hope that not only will we inspire people to achieve their greatest human potential, as a lot of Jamaicans have, as I mentioned before, come from basically not having much to being the most influential and iconic Jamaicans in the world, coming from families that have been humble. And, we've had a Secretary of State, was it Colin Powell? He was. And we had a Vice President who had Jamaican descent. I have pictures of her when she was a child visiting Jamaica because we had someone on our board that used to play with her when she visited Jamaica. Um, we have not Rice, Susan Rice,
Mhm.
and she's written a book on heritage of Jamaica. And I mean, the list goes on and on. We have actors. And so our mission is to gather all this information or share our history and celebrate our icons. So we have icons in just about every field that you can think of. There is a Jamaican making waves, setting the rules, making the invention. We might not get the accolades, but we are right there steering the ship to success in whatever country we are.
And
We
can I
have
can I
sculptures.
can I
Yeah.
add? You're also an icon for doing this. So let's not forget the local champions that we have who are making waves. So I think they're even more significant because they're doing so much on her and they're not known. No one is talking about them. So let's credit you for the work you're doing. You're
Right.
also an icon.
I'm humbled.
Let's put the focus there as well. Mhm.
Yeah, so Dr. Reed, so when someone actually walk through the doors of this museum, right? What types of exhibitions or experiences are you hoping that your visitors will encounter when they walk through those doors?
It's funny, you know. I Before I went to visit the African American Museum of Culture and of History and Culture, I had a concept of what the museum would be like. Only to see that when I visited that place in DC, the concept was the same. The whole concept they used. So, you know, God gives many people visions and similar vision, and some run with it and some don't. And
Mhm.
some will have the money to do expansive exhibitions like they did in DC. And we're hoping that one day ours will be as expansive and comprehensive. But what I would like to see is our history from the Taino Arawaks. And you know, I feel like when you'd asked before, what will happen if we don't preserve our history?
Hmm.
We don't know much about the Taino um, Arawaks,
Right.
who were our ancestors, except that they came from South America. There were about 3 million of them. I was shocked when I read this. 3 million of them living on the island. They ate mainly vegetable and fish. They fished every day. We were known as the land of wood and water. So, I mean, just about everywhere there was water to fish. And yet, we know very little about them except the Spaniards came, worked them so hard,
Mhm.
and they died from disease and hard work.
Hmm.
And this is how uh, the history can be wiped out that easily if it's not preserved.
Mhm.
So we want to see the history starting there and coming right up to being enslaved, being taken from Africa, the motherland, and being so brutally treated, where our lifespan was so short. But seeing the fight through our heroes, through Nanny, through Sam Sharp, through even William Gordon, who was the lawyer, the attorney, who was also hanged with them, and just for sympathizing with them, right? And Paul Bogle. And we know our heroes that fought and died for us in the rebellion. So we want to carry the history of the rebellion. We want to do it in an interactive manner where we can present it, where you can stop the video, you can, you know, participate. Sorry. And we want to introduce the bad part of our history too, like the pirates who were given permission to run Jamaica like a band of robbers and thieves by the crown, the English crown. So we have a lot of history that it's not that we are proud of it, but it made us resilient. It made the slaves fight for what they believed was their human rights. And when the Maroons, when they went into the hills and they came out by night and came back to the English barracks and stole their fruits and their bananas and whatever and took them back to eat, you know, and killed them. And I'm not promoting killing now, but
It's part of the culture, the history.
yeah, it's part of it. They had to survive, right?
Mhm.
So I don't want to sound like some people who just take life very lightly,
Right.
because every life is important. But if it's not my life, it's going to be yours. So we have to fight, and sometimes we have to kill people to survive. And out of that came treaties that were made between the English and the Maroons, so that the English would feel pretty safe, right, to do their their industry and to make money and send back to the crown. So yeah, we want to go there. We want to go with the Port Royal earthquake of the 1685, and we want to even show documentaries of our preserved Port Royal city underwater right now that has been named one of the top sites that has been preserved as a whole. You know, so we want to move from there, just like the African American Museum in DC, and we want to celebrate our recent history, our athletes, our musicians who have contributed to the world genre of music. Um, we want to go with our beauty queens, celebrate, for a small island. There are 195 nations in this world, right? And look at our impact. We are such a small island, and we have won Miss World 4 times already. Can you believe that? 195 countries, and we have won 4 times. And we have come in the first 10 numerous times. Our athletes have set records that still have not been broken. We have Shelly Ann Fraser Price. I don't even want to start naming because some people might hear and say, "Oh Lord, why, why was my name called?" Asafa Powell. We talk about Usain Bolt already. I mean, before that, we had lots of cricketers. Dr. Laxley, you can name all the cricketers.
Yeah, we have so many. We have
Yes.
so much to put out there for the world to admire, to see, so much for us to preserve them. All right,
Mhm.
for them to live forever in the museums. Right,
Yes.
so much. But why Atlanta? Atlanta is probably one of the most influential cities in the Caribbean diaspora. So
Mhm.
why Atlanta?
Well, it just happened to be, it's not coincidence, I don't think.
Mm.
It's it's something that was placed. We're living in Atlanta, and because we're living in Atlanta, but the opportunity for being next to an airport that is the busiest in the world, that is an international hub for travel, and it sees 300,000 people coming through daily, who, I'm sure you have to be under a rock not to hear about Jamaica. you know so we feel that if we have it located in Atlanta, or at least near the airport, or somewhere where we can bus people from the airport to the museum, it's an opportunity to let people experience our culture, because we're not only building it as a standalone museum, that most museums are standalone buildings. We are building it with a cultural center attached to it. And you'll have live entertainment. You'll have um, cultural programs. You'll have exhibitions. Apart from the exhibitions in the museum, the long term exhibitions, you'll have short term art exhibitions. You'll have entertainment. You have gift shops. And we plan to really sell Jamaica, give everyone an opportunity to learn. We'll have classes where children can come and learn about Jamaican culture, the way we used to live, the way we pulled each other up by the bootstring. Once we stepped up, we put our hand down and we pull others up with us. So that's the hope for this.
Mm.
And our politics, we're not leaving our politics out of it. We have an unusual kind of politics, and uh, we're not always proud of it. But man, out of our politics, we have stood strong. We have Michael Manley, who I credit and thank for giving me free tertiary education. And a lot of Jamaicans would not have had the opportunity to go to university hadn't Manley stood firm. And I looked at a video the other day. He said to America, I am not bothering you. You're bothering yourself. But you can't stop me from being friends with who I want to be friends with. And we paid a price for that. But you know something? It made us proud. It made us resilient. It made us stand firm in what we believe. And that is who I see Jamaicans as. And we shouldn't shy away from that.
You
So,
know, having that conviction is important,
yeah.
and you must stand for something. And often there's a price to be paid, but it's okay. Sometimes you just got to pay that price. You got to pay that price. Dr. Donna?
Yes. So with that, we're going to talk about, because you have one of a huge initiative that's taking place now, and that's the BRICS campaign, and that's getting a lot of attention in the organization. Can you share with us what is the BRICS campaign and how does that work?
Okay. So the BRICS campaign is just one aspect of our fundraising. And we've set a goal of one, well, we have not set a goal. We actually had two architects, one with a big firm in Texas and one who worked with the Fulton County government in Atlanta. And they both used the dimensions that I had given them for what we wanted and the layout for what we wanted with the different event rooms, the size of the museum. They used that and they came up with a what you call a program, building site program. And in this program, it tells how much square foot you're going to need for each space that you have and how much it will cost in the end. And also included in that was a portion of $1 million that would also go to run the museum for a year. And during that time, we would be having people visiting the museum who we would use their payments, their entrance fee, as income for future years. And we would be selling and marketing this museum all over the world. So people who come in through the international airport would be able to stop over and visit the museum, experience a little bit of our culture in a small way. So we would actually be improving the tourism product in Atlanta and also indirectly in Jamaica, because we're hoping from experiencing a small bit of our culture here that these persons who experience that would want to visit Jamaica. So yes, it's going to affect the tourism product in both countries. And we have to think big.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I should say that while the museum will be located in Atlanta, it's not just for people in Atlanta.
No.
It's for the diaspora. Period.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
I should say that. So, Dr. Reid, symbolically, what does it mean for someone to purchase a brick that will become part of the foundation of the museum idea?
Okay. So I said it was just one part of our fundraising. And the bricks at this time is the highlight because it generates excitement. Excitement about wanting each person wanting to leave a legacy for generations to come to see. And so when you purchase a brick, either a $100 brick, which is 4x8, or a $250 brick at this time, which is 250, which is 8x8, you are leaving your own legacy there. And you're putting your name on it, your family's name on it, you're memorializing a loved one, you're leaving your business name on it, your school name, your organization's name. Some people have even put little slangs about Jamaica that they want. I remember one person having something like Trelawney something another to the world, Trelawney to the world. Yeah. So there are different ways to leave a heritage for your family, a legacy for your family, where people down the generation can go back and look and say, I am going to go and identify my grandfather's brick and
Mhm.
his name, because there will be something there that will lead you to where that brick is. So the concept actually first came out of the 1996 Olympic Stadium when they used their brick campaign to attract big donors. People wanted their names there, yes. But the excitement of the brick campaign, knowing that your name would be there in the foundation of the building. And when I say foundation of the building, I don't actually mean the structure that is going to hold the building up, but it's going to be somewhere there in the design of the building. It's going to be on the outside of walls. It's going to be in gardens. It's going to be in walkways. It's going to be on step on stools
Mhm.
in the garden, or seats in the garden. So you are going to have your name somewhere there when you buy a brick. So
Mm.
we encourage you to buy the brick to generate the energy we need for other fundraising effort. And it's just not even coincidental. I don't think anything is by chance. We happen to choose the company that did the one for the 1996 commemorative Olympic Stadium.
Nice.
Wow.
Yes. And we're working with them.
That,
So I
mhm.
feel confident that we will have a successful campaign.
And I know we will. Dr. Donna, you have your name on the brick. I have mine. My name is
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did my break.
Yeah, my name is on it. My daughter's name, my grandchildren's name, and I think there's something that's on that big. It's a nice big brick, and it can you can put so many different things on there that like
Yeah.
someone did what Trelawney to the world. Wow,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm country.
So
Yes.
so
So
with that dog, how can individuals or families and organizations how can they participate in the brick campaign?
all right, there are different ways to participate, but on April, Saturday, April 18th at 7 p.m., we're gonna have a huge Zoomathon. And it's actually being coordinated by Dr. Marcia Parker
Mm,
from the Jamaica American International Chamber of Commerce, along with others like Dr. Alderine Foote from Voices Behind the Scene. And Lord, I keep saying I'm going to stop naming because I leave people out.
voices behind the mask.
And then we have our own Dr. Laxley, who is responsible for that beautiful professional video. He donated the video and his work to doing that video. Everybody who sees it is they're just amazed at the production. And we have Dr. Donna, who was the voice of that
Who
video.
donated her voice?
Yes. And the rest of us trail behind with our little voices. Yes, so yes, we're gonna have that on the 18th, and we want everybody to come on. It's gonna be marketed right now. We have our Save the Date flyer out there. It's going to be, of course, virtual,
Mhm.
but some people will be in studio, and the studio will be with Mr. Patrick Parkins of APNP Studios in Stone Mountain. And we will be there chatting and encouraging people to go ahead and purchase their bricks. And we have, I think at this moment, our target for the evening is $10,000, but that may move up as we come closer to the date. I have had a few people call me to say they're going to be purchasing a brick on that day. I have one company that I have to keep energizing the person because we have postponed it because, we had things going on that we needed to have the Zoomathon postponed.
Right.
And we we feel that because we have moved it again, we have more opportunity to reach more people to let them know they can come on that particular evening and they will get help in purchasing their bricks.
Wow.
We have a website. We're purchasing the bricks through Bricks R Us. So it's simply what it says: bricks, a little r, and the word us.com// donor site / JMCCATL. And JMCC, as you know, is the acronym for Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center. So we'll be purchasing through that means or through our website, jmccatlanta.com. It also takes you to their site where you can purchase. They have a secure area where you can use your credit cards, or you can, I don't encourage this, but there is a section for checks also
Mm.
written to the Jamaican Museum, but you would have to mail that in to the address that is given on the website and in the Bricks Arrow site. So those are the two ways so far that you can do it. And I'm not going to encourage my friends to send me any money and ask them to do it, ask me to do it for them anymore.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. So there's so many ways to get involved. So many ways. That, looking at the time here, they say when you're having a great time, move,
Oh,
right?
time has passed.
Yeah, time is moving fast. So, Dr. Reed, cultural institutions often become anchors for communities. And I know that JMCC will become that anchor here in Atlanta and elsewhere in the diaspora. How do you envision the JMCC strengthening cultural pride and education here in Atlanta?
Well, that's the basis of having the cultural center there alongside the museum, where the museum provides the history that you can view, visit, participate in it, and the cultural center next door provides the actual activities that bring you closer to experiencing the history and the culture, the food and everything else.
Mhm.
So that's
That's
how, yeah, that's how we plan to bring people from all over. We are going to be marketing it. We're going to be sharing this with our neighbors, the culture. We're going to encourage other islands to participate, to put on shows, to put on exhibitions, to do things, to share their culture also.
mhm.
Mm.
So, Dr. Reed, if someone is watching us this evening and they're considering supporting the BRICS campaign, what would you like to share with them about why this is so important and why it really matters at this moment for them to purchase their brick?
Well, we first of all, our campaign doesn't last forever. There's a cutoff date, and we're going to be extending it so that we can accommodate the Zoomathon.
Hmm.
So we'll extend it to the end of April, but we have to have a cutoff date. So we have to meet a target, and then we will move on to other forms of fundraising. And then I don't know, maybe later on, 2 years' time, we probably have another campaign. We don't know. But we are hoping on the 24th of August, 2028, that our total fundraising will come to an end, where we will have our $10 million target to build our museum. And
Awesome.
Nice.
we were offered land at one point, and there was a little reneging of that offer, which disappointed us. So we know that we will have to also purchase land. The same organization has offered land at a reduced price. So we are taking one day at a time. We know it's going to happen with or without donated land. We will be purchasing land. People who have planned to support us, they don't have the funding immediately, but they're hoping to have funding in the future that they can come and be partners with us. So, I have to go back to the African American Museum of Culture, History and Culture in DC. They were 22 years in the making. And it was like around the 22nd year that they got two big donors, Oprah Winfrey and somebody else,
Mhm.
who gave millions of dollars. And it's not unusual. We had a president of the next, I think I would say the next most important museum in America, because it's music, and it's called um, the National Museum of African American Music, and it's in Nashville. And they took 10 years, and that's the shortest in America that I have known, that a museum has taken from planning, from conception to actually being opened. And their budget is $10 million a year,
Wow.
10 million a year. So and they make this money. And he came to our meeting, our board meeting, and we asked him, how do you market it? And he says, simply, for me, I didn't know anything about museum. I'm not trained as a museum director. I was in business. I was an investor in business. And I had two persons who joined the board. So this was a two-man board, and they had the money. And they came to me and they said, we want you, we're going to give you some money. And we want you to go out there and make more money so that we can build a museum of music, national music for African Americans.
Nice.
And he said he just simply gave people on the street probably $5 or something to go and give out cards. And most of their money comes in through that means. They use other methods, of course, but he was just saying that most of the money that they make comes by giving people a little bit of income to go out there and give out these business cards.
Mm.
Mm.
Now, Doc, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add and share? Maybe we didn't ask you a specific question that you wanted to answer. Just share with us whatever is on your mind, what you want, anything else you want to say.
We are a small board, and we have an associate group also. And they're very busy. They run their own organizations. But we want big companies to partner with us. And we're asking every Jamaican within the sound of my voice and beyond who will get the message beyond from somebody else. We're asking you to come in, help us, help us preserve our Jamaican culture. Because if we don't do it, it's going to disappear. And, you know, when I visited Spain and I saw the magnificent work of the Moors, and I'm so amazed. But if they hadn't left their work there, they would have disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know about the Moors. I didn't know there were black people.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that they were so brilliant, so intelligent that they did all of this and dominated that part of the world, and they've left a legacy that we can go and enjoy and we can learn about. And so I want every business, every successful business, Jamaican business and American business who love Jamaica, we want you to come and partner with us. We are ready to listen to you. We're ready to take your advice as long as it's going to end up letting us have a museum and cultural center.
Oh, you know, Dr. Donna, of all the initiatives going around, and there are many, I just want to say that this is one that we should all get behind. Having a museum and cultural center here in Atlanta is such an important thing. You know, we have our children.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them probably will never go to Jamaica, but and they're going to museums. Kids are into museums and all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
yeah.
Imagine having a local museum and cultural center here for them to visit, for them to go to, for them to learn about our history. Our history. There's so much there. So I say we need to get behind this initiative. We need to support it. We need to do our part. And all Jamaicans, and not just Jamaicans, because this is a statement for people who are not Americans per se. We all need to get behind initiatives like this and support each other. Support each other. Caribbean people, African people. It is so important because you have one Jamaican museum, you can have one from another Caribbean country, one from
Right.
Africa. We need to have them here.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. So anyway, so that's a conversation that we need to keep having. Dr. Reid, let me say thank you for joining us tonight in the spotlight and for sharing the vision behind the Jamaican Museum and Cultural Center and the incredible work being done to preserve and celebrate Jamaican heritage here in the diaspora. What you're building is more than a museum. It is a home for memory, for identity, and legacy. It is a place where future generations will be able to walk through history, learn the stories of those who came before them, and better understand the richness of Jamaican culture and many contributions we've made as Jamaicans. Initiatives like the BRICS campaign give members of our community an opportunity to become part of that legacy, not just as supporters, but as builders of something that will endure for generations. Dr. Donna, I know you got your brick, and I know you'll probably get another one. I have mine, and I know I will get in there again and get another one. Because why is that so? Because culture is not something you preserve by accident. It is preserved by people who care enough to protect it, document it, and pass it forward. Tonight's conversation reminds us that when we invest in preserving our stories, we're also investing in the identity and the pride of the generations that will come after us. And perhaps the most powerful reminder from this discussion tonight is this: when a people preserve their story, they protect their future. I think that is so important. So, Dr. Reid, thank you again for joining us, and thank you for the
My
work
pleasure.
to do on behalf of Jamaican viewers. And to our viewers out there, thank you for being part of tonight's conversation. Dr. Donna, I turn to you.
Alrighty. So yes, thank you, Dr. Reid, for being here with us this Monday evening on In the Spotlight. We are so grateful that you decided to spend your Monday evening with us while you're still traveling home. So thank you so much for being committed to sharing with us. And for all our listeners, thank you for staying on with us as well. If you did not stay on, you'll see the replay. I encourage you to go out there, support the BRICS campaign, support the Jamaican Museum Cultural Center. Just like Doc said, It may be for Jamaica today. However, we're such a vast people that this is just going to be something that's going to grow into something even bigger, right? So we start small and we grow big. Our vision is big. So support, support, support. We ask you to support the campaign. And go out there. It is Monday. So you're at the beginning of the week. Go out there, an act of kindness. Find a stranger, do something kind for someone. Let's be charged with acting and doing and sharing kindness and love. There's a lot that's going on out there. So let's just take it up on ourselves to just start spreading kindness and love, and continue to take care of your families. Of course, be kind and loving to your family as well. But let's go ahead and find the stranger that we can definitely impact their life. Whether it's a good morning, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, whatever it is, you just never know how you're going to change someone's life by your interaction. And have a wonderful and safe remainder of the week. Don't forget, stay tuned for all our upcoming shows that we're having. We have on Wednesday afternoon, Doc, that is, remind me again,
Life-changing conversations to inspire actions.
That is at 1:30, 1 p.m. on Wednesday. So if you're available, stay tuned, watch that show on Wednesday. And then we have our newest show that will be coming on Wednesday evening at 7:30, Her Legacy. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday at 7:30. And then on Thursday, we have Bridging Generations with the gents at 7:30 as well. So we have a lot of stuff going on during the week. So definitely just come back and join with us, be a part of the conversation. If you feel that you have something that you would love to share with us on one of our platforms, we welcome you to join us. And once again, go out there and be great and do great things. Have a wonderful week.
Dr. Reid, you got the last word.
Oh, it's just a pleasure to be on the show, and thank you for your support. And I encourage every Jamaican to support this program because it gives such great information. It opens up a wide field of education. So I want everyone to support this program also, and just commit to building the museum with us.
And that is it. We're out. Good night.
Good night.
Like them